very eloquent speaker. And you know, I mean, honestly, as an actor, he does some pretty decent stuff with developing roles of his character.
He does.
So, I mean, like, I have to appreciate any actor that puts forth the effort to take the words on a page and make them their own.
Right.
You know?
Bring something to life that's inanimate. Inanimate?
I mean, dude, think about it this way. Like, how many variations of Peter Pan have there been throughout the years?
A lot.
But you'll always remember Peter Panning from Hook.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because that's Robin Williams.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, but he took that and spun it to a different route. You know?
Yeah.
I just think, you know, it's crazy that, first off, dude, can you believe we're already at 19? We're in double digits on subscribers right now.
We are.
Isn't that cool?
We're fantastic.
I mean, I'm let me be the more level-headed out of the two of us.
Oh, yeah. That's your role. That's not my role.
No, you're the dreamer. I'm the realist, man. That's,
of course.
That's why I have to keep your ass alive.
Yeah, this is true.
But you know, it's kind of amazing because we're getting shout-outs. We're getting notice. I think you were even talking about, you know, during the Thanksgiving holidays, I posted up that toast.
Yeah.
And I honestly, you know, unofficially, officially we don't have any sponsors, but
we officially do not.
Unofficially, I will shout out small businesses left and right because you know what, baby? That's how we make the world go around.
Business makes the world go around.
That's right. And so we have to make sure that we're giving shout outs to our favorite places. Now, the beautiful thing about that is because we don't have a sponsor, we can drop and just drop names and talk about places and things that we like.
Yes, oh, absolutely.
You know, I had mentioned my favorite meadery.
Yes.
Which is located in the heart of Colorado Springs, the Tricar Meadery. I love those guys. First off, the brewers, they have this nice little, I'll have to take you there sometime. They've got a tasting room.
Oh, yeah.
And they've got shiplap up on the wall. It literally looks like a Viking longhouse.
Mm-hmm.
So, very welcoming people. If you want to travel down to the Springs, you can go and hang out there. Or you can find their stuff online. I'll drop a link down in the description for everyone, just because, you know, it's as a small business, they deserve that.
Oh, absolutely they do.
And, yeah. Plus, I'm really trying to bank on maybe I'll get a free bottle.
Exactly, which is why in Castle Rock there's a meadery that I go to, which is Honeybrook Meadery.
Honeybrook. I don't think I've had Honeybrook.
No. So as I understand it, they actually supply mead to the Colorado Renaissance Festival.
Oh, then I have had it.
Then you have had it.
I have had it. I still prefer my local, but that's my thing.
Yeah, well, no, they're local to Castle Rock,
right?
But they're a supplier of CRF. So
I mean, dude, I don't think people understand the journey that Lord Robert makes in order to make it to the studio here. I don't think they.
The tavern.
It's a 45-minute drive, dude.
It's just about an hour.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, you live on the north side of it.
Oh yeah.
My God.
I'm way like back out in Castle Rock.
Like almost like on the edge of Parker and Castle Rock.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. So you're out in the boondocks.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're getting ready. I mean, we're talking about, what are we talking about today?
And then?
Oh yes, one of my favorite subjects.
So, you know, kind of one of those things that in the, you know, a previous episode we talked about character development, how to get started with that.
Right.
And now you have to move your character forward in life, you know, if you choose to, you know, and this is kind of the thing that we want to focus on is, especially for me, it's very important that where you start is not where you're going to finish.
No. In many places, professionally, they will call that, or even in the workout, you know, physical fitness areas, they call that plateauing.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Yeah, I you know, but like I said, some people just want to create a character, they want to go, they want to have fun. to a fair, to
Right.
play, whatever it is.
Or,
you know,
or they see something that they want to mimic.
correct.
You know, like how many Jack Sparrows did we see last year?
There were a bunch.
Yeah.
There were a bunch.
And I'm not dogging on the fact that they want to dress up like Jack Sparrow.
Absolutely not.
But to
It's-
me, there's only one guy that can ever do that right.
It's right. Right. And see, it's not my thing. You know, I'm not going to take away from someone else because, it's big into the cosplay, thing, I
Sure,
guess.
sure.
I would put it under that category. But, for me, I would rather create something original and be my own thing.
Well, and
Which is kind of the reason that I changed characters, because in years past I've been a pirate. There's so many pirates. I didn't feel like there was anywhere I could go with that character. What am I going to do?
only because you went with the West, my friend.
Had I met you a couple of years ago,
You could have been a Portuguese
I
pirate,
could have been a Portuguese pirate. But
or an Italian corsair.
yeah, that's true. I do love Italian food.
I do as well. But my favorite food is Scotch.
This is true. I mean, let's see, Scottish. Favorite Scottish haggis. I do love some haggis.
Yeah, but above haggis though, it's above.
They make this wonderful egg dish.
Yes, it was crafted in the early 1400s.
Yes, by a merchant.
Yes, by a merchant.
Yes, a German prince told us about this, and so I have to take it on his word.
I do hear
He's
that
a prince.
There is a Swedish princess that is contesting the validity of the claims.
Right, but
You're wrong.
but if you look at the Swedish princess, I mean, they came up with IKEA, which is a build-it-yourself place, which is what this merchant did, build
Yes.
himself a
Yes,
Scotch egg.
that's-
So she should be on board with that.
And isn't a Swedish meatball just a micronized version of a Scotch egg?
Yeah, but they are fantastic.
They are. They are. So, I think, going back to the reason why I don't like doing somebody else's character is because I'm always afraid that I'm going to screw it up.
Yeah, I mean, but my thing is, where do you go with it?
Right.
I mean,
Because it's not written.
you have to wait till the next movie comes out to get another line.
Or book.
You're just going to keep doing the same
Yeah.
stuff.
I mean, like, we have our one friend that does the traveling mercenary, Mr. Salzano.
Yeah.
Giovanni Salzano is based off of a book, but the beautiful thing is the guy that portrays him is the guy that writes it, so it's like, sad enough to say, anything he does at festival is canon.
Absolutely. And if you guys are a fan of historical fiction, check out his books. Traveling.
Traveling Mercenary.
We'll put a link in,
Yeah.
in the comments. But
Yep.
yeah, Traveling Mercenary. He's got, I think, 4 books.
I-
3 or 4.
I think it is 4 with maybe, I think he's working on another one.
Yes, he is working on another one. So yeah, definitely, guys, check his books out, man.
But, that's...
And support a Rennie.
That's
our,
another one
that's
that,
key.
that we talk about the and then.
Exactly.
And I believe that I'm looking forward to it because I was talking with him about it, and I said, it's great. Salzano's this lone wolf mercenary,
Right.
but eventually the lone wolf gets long in the tooth and gets gray in the hair.
Yes.
So what's the next logical step in evolution there?
Yeah.
You have to remember different things when you're trying to develop that character for the next thing.
For me, it's always moving forward. Whether it be with the character that you have presently, or you decide to scrap that, start over, which is what I did. I scrapped that character. I was like, it was super cool. I liked it, but like I said, at the end of the day, like we said in the previous episode, I pigeonholed myself into a role.
Right.
I was never going to go anywhere.
Right.
And so it was very stale and stagnant for me.
Which I can associate with that because there's only so many things or so many different ways that I can wear what I have currently with my robes.
True.
So I'm left with a few different options for Yen Shen. I can either get more robes,
Right.
okay, or make them, or order them, or do whatever.
Right.
Or B, I can have him start to adopt Western culture.
Right, which I think would be a natural thing.
Well, yeah.
I mean, because if you're in a place, you're going to adapt. You have to adapt.
He wants to fit in.
Right.
Because, yeah, I realize what I look like.
Right. And I would never see your character, though, in Western clothes.
No.
That, I think, that part will never change.
No, but I think adopting, like, Western boots.
Oh, absolutely.
Like not cowboys, guys. We're talking, like, European, okay?
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe on Time Traveler Weekend.
Yeah, maybe on Time Traveler Weekend, I'll go hang out with Wyatt Earp when he shows up. Then I'll start talking like, howdy, y'all.
How y'all doing?
I'm Captain Yun Shang. I'm the Woku.
Welcome to the Renaissance.
Welcome to the Renaissance Festival. Please tie up your horse and check your pieces over there. But I character-wise, outside of Guard, I mean, I do have a couple of ways that I can flex that and mess around with it because the story that I wrote for Yen Shang is very historically adjacent. I can borrow from Chinese, Japanese, Korean, Portuguese, and even Spanish, because those are the entities that are in that region of the world during that time frame.
Stay away from Spanish.
Well, no, the beautiful thing
Who said
about
that?
that is that I could like our Spanish ambassador, I could run around in his clothes.
Which no one ever expects him to be there.
No, because no one ever expects the
Spanish Inquisition. Yeah.
But, you know, we talk about just kind of focusing on everybody, you know, in the past episodes we've talked about building the character from the ground up. We've talked about the character development sheet, which you can find just Google character development.
Yeah. There's a million of them out there.
There's 1,000 different versions out there just off of that one phrase. It's hard to find the exact one that maybe your festival or your group is using, but ask somebody that's there.
Absolutely.
You know, when it comes to developing the characters, Keith had changed from pirate to Lord Robert, Baron of Residia. This last year, last season, at the end of the season, I was told, dude, you can't change your character. You got to play that guy for 3 years. And I'm like, dude, I don't want to change the character. The character's amazing. Mm-hmm. And I've got a lot of nuance that I can weave in between and kind of draw the veil back. I look at a couple of other people that are on cast, like Lucinda.
Yes.
You know, Lucinda did not start off as ostentatious as she is now.
No.
I promise that.
No.
But she has morphed and changed because the actor, who's an amazing cast member,
Yes.
Has followed the logical progression of the character development and slightly rewritten things as necessary because, as you know, as the military says, all plans are great until first contact.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when we talk about building those things, you got to know a few things when it comes to character development.
Yeah.
And I break it down into 5 different things. Okay, you're talking about story. You got to know where your character is fitting in.
Correct.
I can't play Han Solo at a Renaissance Festival. Sorry, kids, it doesn't fit.
No.
You know,
No.
I could play a smuggler.
Yeah.
That's loosely based off of him, but I don't know. I might be able to get you to wear some furs. You could be my Wookiee.
Dude.
Yeah, dude.
I don't think so.
Dude,
I am not wearing.
Put it in the comments if you guys want to see Keith as a Wookiee.
I am not wearing a Wookiee suit in the middle of summer.
Okay. All right. Maybe just some furs, and we can call you a Viking, and we'll just call your character's name will be Wookiee.
Okay, that'll work.
Wookiee the Viking.
Yeah.
So you got to know where you fit in. With most places, we'll get more into that. I'll tell you. We'll talk more about that. I just want to talk about the 5 topics. So
Sure.
The second is the backstory, which is you. Okay, and you've already written a lot of that, but now we have to apply that to the story. The next one is the details, like how do I walk? How do I present myself? Keith trudges.
I trudge.
Yes.
This is true.
Then we need to know our motivation, and as we discussed previously, Not everybody can want to kill the king.
Yes.
Okay, but you need to have some kind of motivation. What is your driving factor? For Yen Shang, it was, I need to secure trade.
Right.
That's why I'm in England. And then finally, the fifth subject there is goals and struggles. So we're going to talk about these. Let's break it down, though. Would you say that this is a fair statement? In most Renaissance festivals, the setting, the story is that the Duke, Lord, Mayor, whatever, is hosting a festival for the king and queen.
Yes.
In honor of the king and queen.
Yes.
All right. Nobles from the lands gather to celebrate and whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's always some sort of festival, a party,
and it's
the king's here. That in that realm of thought.
Right. And our timeline in most Renaissance festivals, unless we're talking like medieval festivals.
Correct.
Renaissance festivals were either Tudor or Elizabethan.
Yes.
One of those two zones, or you're straddling right down the center of those.
Yeah, I think most of the ones that I've seen, and I could be wrong because I haven't seen them all, but most of them are set in like the Tudor area.
Okay.
1500s, right in that time.
Right.
Sherwood Forest in Texas is a medieval fair.
Right.
So they're set before. So when I go to Sherwood Forest, the way I'm dressed, I'm technically out of place.
Sure.
I'm like from the future, and I show up. The people there are super, super cool.
Your Doctor Who.
Yeah. But so that's kind of the thing. You have to know what time frame you're in, because if you're at a medieval fair and you're dressing like Tudor or Elizabethan England, you're in the wrong spot.
Right.
Not to say you can't do it, because
There
we have
has-
people that are dressed up.
There has to
however,
be a logical flow to it, though.
Yes.
Let's say
for me it does. When I walked in, I was like, I knew right off I didn't fit in.
Oh crap!
I was like, oh, and it wasn't until the casting director had told me, he goes, oh yeah, we're a medieval fair. Oh. Okay. So,
did not see that. I glassed over the email.
I totally did.
I figured.
So I, I mean, we, myself and a friend of mine, John Hockley, we went, and I mean, we did our thing, and we interacted with people like we normally
Sure.
do. But just in the back of my mind, I'm like, I'm not dressed the right way,
Right.
And for me, it bugged me, because I was like, I don't fit in the way I should.
So was this as the Baron, or was this as a pirate?
As the Baron.
Okay.
So I was as a pirate, I probably would have been okay.
Well, you're still wrong.
I'm still wrong, but
You're still wrong, but there's just mass amounts of people that are wrong with you.
yes. So, but yeah, as the Baron. So I was definitely. That was actually just this spring, so that was the first time that I actually went out.
You were testing.
That was my trial run.
I got you. You were testing the clothing.
Yep, absolutely.
I got it. But so you want to make sure that when you're building your character, I don't care what the setting is. We do center on Renaissance festivals, but let's say you're playing in a role playing game, or you're at a haunt.
Yes.
You want to make sure that your character fits in. Now, it's not to say that, oh, well, I guess Keith and Rob told me I have to be a guardsman. No, dude, that's not what we're saying.
No, not at all.
What we're actually telling you is just make sure that your character fits in somewhere within that storyline, because if not, then you're kind of a rogue character, and not everybody can be Deadpool,
Yes.
You can't breaking the fourth wall. That's all cool and fine when you're talking movies, but how do you break the fourth wall when you're on stage?
And I know this may upset some people, but for me, it's the mushroom people. I don't
really.
I don't get the mushroom people.
Well, they're fantasy, and I think that's where your hang-up is.
Yeah, because if it was a fantasy fair,
sure,
I would be, oh, cool, come like however you are. But there's even some other characters that I'm just like, for me, it doesn't fit because it's not Renaissance.
I think my thing would be
they're cool. They're super cool costumes.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that they're dumb. No. they're super cool costumes, but for me, like the mushroom people, the people that
I
come in
want to
as
see
like
a story developed.
like the people that come in as like centaurs or
Dude,
you know
some of
things
those guys
like
are cool though. Man.
like I said, super cool costumes, but for me, it doesn't fit because it's not fantasy; it's Renaissance. So
Yeah, but I mean, my counterpoint
and a
to
centaur
that,
is really Greek and mythology anyway, so they're not.
Yeah, but my counterpoint to
I
that
know.
is we have fairies and witches, man.
We do have fairies and witches.
The witch I can get away with.
Which you can get away with.
The fairies, you know, and we have a dancing unicorn.
Periwinkle. Yeah, but I mean that's just it's my own little hang up.
No,
I don't want. I'm not trying to upset anyone. But for me, I just don't get
Sure.
the mushroom. I don't get them. I don't understand what they're doing.
I think my thing is I really wish that there was a story behind them.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
what is the story behind them? Are you supposed to be gnomes? Or what is any interaction that I've ever had with anybody that
It's
is
very vague.
they just most of them are like, well, I'm just a mushroom person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Which is perfect for this.
why don't you go and check out the Renaissance Rascals on YouTube?
Right.
And you can
Come up with a backstory.
Yes,
Come
yes.
up. Why are you at a Renaissance festival being
Sure.
a mushroom person?
Well,
Do they have a name? Like,
yes.
you know, what's
Well,
your name? Dave from accounting.
that
That guy was great though.
That was classic. That was great. That was they had their own little.
They had a story.
canon.
They had a story.
Yes, they had their canon. They had their story, and it flowed very well for those guys.
It really did.
They made it amazing, and I'm not saying I agree with you. It's an oddity to me.
Very much so.
It's an oddity to me because I don't know the backstory. I don't know what the place is. If you guys know what the story is behind that,
Please leave us a comment.
please let me know. I mean, my daughter, bless her heart, the tiny violinist, says, Dad, it's part of Mushroom Corps. And I'm like, okay, is that like, I'm a military guy, man. When you say Corps, I'm thinking like, we're 5,000 strong. We're here to take over the village.
Right? I'm like, yeah. I just maybe it's just I don't get it. You know.
I agree with you. I don't understand it, and I really wish somebody would.
Yeah,
would
I mean, because
explain it to
like
me.
I said, costumes are super cool. Some of them, other ones look kind of thrown together.
saw-
But hey, you have to start somewhere.
So and this is the other thing. So you could even go as far as, because I did this when we went down to Santa Fe. I brought Captain Yen Shang down to Santa Fe.
Correct.
So
I did not bring Lord Robert.
no, Lord Robert left me high and dry the way that he does. But you know, Yen Shang doesn't always need to be accompanied by Lord Robert. Instead, he was palling around with this weird bone fairy dude.
Rufus the Bone Fairy.
Rufus the Bone Fairy.
Yes, he was fantastic.
He was phenomenal. We'll tell you more about his antics as we go through this. But it's you could go so far as, hey, maybe the veil has, this one character pierced through the veil.
Right.
You know, the veil of reality between the Fae and the real world. And maybe that's where those mushroom folks are coming from. Who knows? I don't know. But come up with a story. Let us know.
Yeah, please.
And as a matter of fact, dude, come up to us at the festival and we'll have a conversation about it.
Oh yeah, I would love to.
I'd do that in character too.
Oh, first, well, we have to.
I mean, I want to know, are they shiitake mushrooms?
Oh.
Are
I don't
they-
know. One look kind of portobello, but I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? I think it would be fun to have that kind of conversation. But
Absolutely.
as we were saying, backstory. What are you doing here?
Yeah. What do you do?
What do you do?
You know, what's your job?
How do you fit into the overall scheme of whatever festival or event that you're at?
Yes.
Sometimes you can go with a heavy hand as a contributor and kind of, I want to be a mushroom person.
Yes.
You know, I we're not picking on you guys. We're not.
No.
Let me find another one that. Yeah, here we go. Wandering Samurai.
Yes.
What are you doing here?
Yeah. Which is very weird that a samurai would be.
Historically, you would not be far from your lord,
Correct.
unless your lord was killed or you were disowned because you did something dishonorable.
Yes. But then if you were dishonored, you wouldn't. Now, correct me if I'm wrong.
Typically, you would kill yourself.
You would kill yourself.
Typically.
So
Typically, seppuku would.
But even if you didn't, you wouldn't be walking around in armor and have the swords
Yes.
and all that stuff.
Yes, armor in Japan, armor is meant for battle.
Right.
You know, this is really in the Asian cultures, armor is for battle.
Correct.
You know, unlike.
Hey, I watched The Last Samurai with Tom Cruise.
Dude, that was a great movie.
Dude, it was fantastic.
I'm not gonna knock that movie at all. That was a great movie. I can't stand Tom Cruise, but I love that movie.
He did a good job. I mean, you can't go wrong with Ken Watanabe anyway. So.
Yeah. No.
Like
Yeah.
he was.
Yeah. My man crush is the dude that teaches him the sword.
Oh. If I could pronounce his name,
I'm not even gonna try.
I wouldn't. I'm not either. But yeah, that dude's
You definitely
fantastic.
shouldn't if I'm not.
There's
honestly,
levels of this game, bro.
I honestly just don't remember his name off the top of my head.
I can see it, but I'm not going to try to say it.
But you know, he's a great actor. He was in Bullet Train.
Yes.
Which, by the way, watch Bullet Train and then watch Lost City, or you know, the other way around. But those two movies, they're tied together by the cameos.
Right.
So you know, you got to know your backstory, and here's where building Yen Shang, I had a problem. I didn't know anybody, so I didn't know who I had friends with.
We didn't know you either.
No.
You were like a name.
I was the oddity.
You were a name in the mist.
No,
I mean, for real, like.
To be fair about that whole thing, that is because I was only there for half.
It was, yeah.
Because I was a volunteer. Because of where I work, I couldn't get away from that on Saturdays. So I missed most of the Saturdays, and I only showed up on the Sundays. I got some really cool stuff. Good thing, you know, I have a little bit of acting in my background, and everything that they were talking about, I was like, yeah, cool, I get it, I understand. You know, and there were a couple of really good people during rehearsals that I was there. They were like, hey, are you following this subject that we're talking about? I'm like, yeah, dude, I got it.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, come over here and let's just help you out. And I was a little standoffish because I didn't know nobody.
Oh yeah. Oh, and see, like I said it before. Even during rehearsals, they would split us up into groups, and
Yes.
you were never in my group.
No.
Like we were on site. I didn't meet you until
the very first day.
The
of
first day
festival.
you showed up.
Yep, the
and I
first
was
day of
like,
festival.
oh.
And then I come
who the
walking in my robes,
hell
and
is
everybody
this
was
guy?
like, whoa.
Yeah. Oh, I did. I was one of them because I heard, oh, Rob's going to be a pirate. Okay, cool. I'm not sure who Rob is, and then I did see you at rehearsal one day. And I'm like, okay, that's got to be Rob.
Yeah, because there was that day, the final rehearsal. I was there.
Yeah.
And they were like, hey, you missed out on character introductions. I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And I stood up there with my famous line, and I say it's my famous line because it's the one line that I love to say over and over again. I am Captain Yen Shang of the Woku. Because that encapsulates my character.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
You know, and so I do explain further throughout the interactions, but I don't
Sure.
think that, you know, I need to go through this. I'm this, and this. No.
Right.
As a person, it's not like you would walk up, hi, I'm Keith Pilo. I work at here, and I do this, and I have this much experience in doing all of this. Like, you don't
Right.
give people your whole rap sheet. Like, you don't do it, man. Nobody does this in normal interaction. I challenge you to do it. It really freaks people out. I did it as an exercise once. It's funny. You tell them where you were born. You tell them everything. You know, don't give them your social or anything like that.
Yeah, no.
For the love of God, don't tell them your mom's maiden name. Personal details. But I didn't know who my friends were because I didn't have any friends as the character.
Correct.
You know, as
I mean,
a cast
being
member.
I was going to say, being your first year on cast, you really didn't have any friends.
I didn't.
I mean, you knew, a couple people
Right.
that brought you on.
I knew the casting director, and I knew the Princess of Ireland.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah. I mean, but those two, that was it. So
and then what is her name? She used to be the photographer. I can't remember. She's, you know who I'm talking about?
Christina, yeah.
Yeah. The cool thing is I found out that we actually worked in the same circles in my previous life.
Yeah.
And by that, guys, I mean my time in the military. So it was neat because I made a connection there, and I was like, oh, cool. And then I met somebody. I knew two other people, but I really didn't talk to them during rehearsals. The Marquis and the Marquess.
Yes.
I knew them through a friend.
Right.
I didn't know, we were acquaintances. I didn't know, I didn't go over to their houses and have like a cup of meat or anything like that. It was,
Right.
hey, I know you, and it was, yeah, hey,
A cup of meat from Jakar Meadery.
Yes,
of course.
yes,
Yeah,
with
yeah.
a Scotch egg from the Queen's Pantry.
Yes, which are wonderful.
Wonderful.
Decadent, I would say.
So the only thing that I could really figure out just as writing Yensheng was who my enemies were.
Right.
Because, logically, I hate the Spaniards. I mean, yeah, between the French and the Spanish, but
It's an easy target.
I didn't have anything to do with the French. I get to Europe, I get to England, and everybody's like, we hate the French. And I'm like, okay, cool, I hate the French too, because I want to make business here. So, Lord Robert says to Yensheng, you will hate the French. And
Yes.
I say,
Okay.
okay.
Sure.
So that's going to be my new thing. As people are walking in, I'm just going to, are you French?
Yes. Why are you dressed this way?
Why do you look like a Mouseketeer?
No,
I can't say that.
That's copyright.
Yeah, that might be.
Oh well. It's too
But
late.
know your backstory, and there's really great things here because it is, how do you fit in?
Yes.
You know, as a merchant, traveling merchant from the Far East, it was easy. How do I fit in? Well, I bring spices, silks, and salt. You know, and I'm looking for firearms. I'm looking for muskets. I'm looking for pistols. I'm looking for cannons. That was the original goal of Yensheng, was to secure trade with someone of that caliber. Now, here's the crazy part. Did you know that nobody on cast is a gunsmith?
Yeah, no, don't have one of those.
Like there is no character in Larkspurshire that manufactures firearms.
No, but everyone seems to have them.
I'm sputtering over here because that would be an amazing character.
That's a hint to anyone out there who is
if
thinking of
if you're looking for an idea to build a character,
a gunsmith, because we do not have one.
We don't have a gunsmith. We had a chainsmith, somebody that makes chainmail.
Yes.
But nobody that actually plays that in character.
No.
And it's kind of rough because most people don't want to play those kinds of roles.
No, but if someone could develop that character, learn just basic information on gunsmithing,
Sure.
The different type of flintlocks that would, be around that time frame.
Yeah.
They could have wonderful interactions with people that are walking around that have those kind of weapons on them.
Oh, dude, you can
do you know about this?
You could even
the
make
only
up
one
names.
The only one that does that now is the professor.
That's true.
Because he schooled me when I had weapons on me, and he goes, "Oh, do you know what this is? Do you know?" And I'm like, "No, it just looked cool, so I bought it." which is the whole way I picked out the weapons that I carried. I was like, "Dude, that looks cool," and I bought it. And he goes, "Oh yeah, well this does this and that." And he gave me the backstory of all this stuff, and I'm like,
well, and it's funny that you bring that up because we're talking about nuance and the and then factor.
yes,
So and then Lord Robert has decided that he doesn't need to carry a sword
no,
because he's got hired help, family friend, whatever you want to call it. His plus one.
yes, you are my plus one.
His plus one that has his back at all times. I don't like saying the words, but I'll let you get away with it. Occasionally. The manservant.
On the outside, that's the way it would look.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that you are a servant, you
Yeah.
know. But that's the great thing about doing what we're doing here is we, over the course of that last season, this past season, is we fleshed out a lot of what our relationship really is.
Yes.
Came up with the backstory of how you even came to the land.
Right.
So.
Well, and it's great because you wrote the piece on it, and then we just kind of fell into it.
Yeah.
Like we fell into step. It was crazy. It's like, you're marching in a formation of troops, and all of a sudden, hey, you're out of step. Oh, cool. And then everybody steps in and we lock tight.
And see, I never really thought about it because you and I, we just hit it off,
Right.
As people.
Yes.
And so it was a very easy transition to just kind of go with our characters.
Right.
But then someone asked me.
Yeah, I think that was the second weekend.
Yeah, they're like, why is a Chinese dude walking around with you? And I'm like, oh. And I didn't have an answer. I'm like, cuz. And so I actually had to go home and I had to go.
And you crafted the
what
and
would,
then.
Why would he be doing this? Because on the outside it makes no sense.
Right.
Except you're a servant. Well, I know you're not. So I had to come up with the story of how you got to, the land of Umbracinia, how you do my father, we establish trade. You give us information. Now I'm bringing you to Larkspurshire to expand your trade routes.
Yes.
So now it all makes sense. And if someone goes, why is he with you? Here you go. And it's a real quick bam, bam, bam.
Which, it can even go into, well, why is he here with you? Well, he's actually looking for something.
Yes.
And just be left there, and it's that mystery. That
He's looking for
He's looking for something.
salt.
Yeah. I have salt. I'm
But
looking for
yeah,
things
so
to
that
shoot
was
the salt out of.
But yeah, that was exactly, who your friends, who your enemies. We share common friends because
and
you want to be friends with my friends.
Yes. Yes, your friends have money.
And you definitely don't want to let my enemies kill me.
Unless it's beneficial to me.
Right.
Just throwing
Which
that out
is
there,
not
guys.
ever. Horrible.
He says it's horrible, but
I'm going to need another +1.
if it ever came to play out, he would be playing it with a smile at his heart.
Absolutely.
But who are your friends? Your friends don't actually have to be like, oh, this is my chum.
Yeah.
It could be we're guildmates.
True.
Or I'm.
Friends is a very loose term.
Yes, maybe I'm part of the town's guard.
Yeah, I mean, it could be a friend, it could be an acquaintance, it could be just you're in an alliance with someone.
Now, one thing I will say is, as a new cast member, attach yourself to a veteran.
Yes.
You know who needs like somebody to puppy dog with him? The Lord Marshal.
Oh, the Lord Sheriff?
The Lord Sheriff.
Yes.
The Lord Sheriff needs a puppy dog.
Yeah, I believe he does.
Or lackey. I forget what he calls them. An
Minion.
underling.
Underlings.
A minion?
A minion, maybe.
I think minion actually is a French word, so I don't think he would use that one.
No. Underling? Yeah. Lackey.
Underling.
Crony.
Crony?
Oh.
Ooh, I like that one.
Yeah.
Crony. There you go. But once you know your story, or the story of the setting, you've got your backstory. Now, how do you kind of flesh that out? Because, you and I have alluded to a few different things. Like, where we go. Like, where we walk around inside of the village. We do have a set route.
Yes.
That we have a general... It's really weird because I thought about this the other night when I was, doing up the slides for today. We have, you could almost set your watch...
There is a schedule.
To the events that we do things, like gate opens at 10.
10.
At 10:30, you can find us at the Queen's Pantry.
Generally, yeah. I mean, it's. I learned this when I was brand new and John was taking me around. Is you always and it worked well for me. Was I scheduled my route on where the water is.
Oh yeah.
So because it's very obviously Dr. John tells us we have to stay hydrated.
Yes. You can't see that.
But
Here,
yes, see, we're still hydrated.
We're still hydrating.
But
hydrating,
so
Your Grace. Still hydrating.
Yes, of course we are. But yeah, for me that was very important. So I go from here to there because I know I can refill my mug. I can get a drink. I can stand in the shade for a few minutes. I can collect myself. And then I fill my mug up and I go to the next spot. Well, what's at the end of that next spot? Water. And some shade.
Yeah.
And so I continue my journey, and that's how I scheduled it.
And then since I've come on, it's where's the water, where's the food? 'Cause
Yes.
I am always eating.
And then we pit stop at the Queen's Pantry for
Yes.
Scotch egg, and
Yes.
we get our Scotch egg, and we stand in the shade.
Yes.
And it's great, and
I like eating with the people.
I do, and I was just gonna say, for us, it's fantastic because we stand there, we eat our Scotch eggs, and we just talk to the people.
Yes.
You know, hi, how's your day going so far? I know it's only 10:45, 11. Have you been here before?
My favorite is when they're lost.
Oh, yes.
That's my absolute favorite.
Yeah.
Because I like looking at the youngest member of that party, and it works better with a compass.
Yeah. I generally use the line of, "You're not lost, you just haven't been found yet." And then they look at me and, "Where are you going?"
The other one I like is, no, you're not lost. You're just on an adventure.
Yes, you're on an
No
adventure.
one knows where it's going to go.
Yeah, yeah. And the two main questions I always get is, where are the bathrooms?
And where's the turkey legs?
The turkey leg? Oh, the other one is, where's the ATMs?
Oh, yes.
So, where's the ATM around here? Oh, so...
It's kind of weird that I'm glad you brought that up, because it's kind of weird as an actor to break on that. Like you actually, there's no way around it. You have to break character slightly.
To a certain extent, yes.
You have to acknowledge that you know what they're talking about.
Yes, well, that's why we call them yield money machines. You mean the yield money machine? Yes, of course I do. It's
I
right
call
up
it
the hill.
the exchange.
The exchange, yeah. Yeah.
The exchange or the money lenders.
Right.
Because, let's be honest, you're taking money out of the ATM and you're not keeping the money.
Yeah.
So they're lending it so that you can spend it somewhere else.
Well, and people go, "Oh, where's the bathroom? Oh, didn't realize we had those here."
The privies are that way.
what do you do in this bathroom?
Well, you take a bath.
Take a bath in the bathrooms. I don't. And then they describe, "Oh, you mean the privy? Yes, of course I know where that is." And then you go, you know what I'm saying? So it's
right. And
try to get them to use the correct terminology sometimes.
Well, yes, it helps with their experience, in my opinion, because like I said, as an actor, my goal is to leave an impression.
Well, we are there to create the experience.
Yes. He should be proud of us. You know who we're talking about.
Oh.
See, we say things that you say.
Yes, we love you.
Please don't fire us.
even with your judgmental dad face.
Dude, I just pled for us to keep our jobs. Why are you going to do that afterwards? You're supposed to do that first.
Hold on, let his picture come back around. I'll apologize.
Okay, we'll come back. So you got to know where's your spot. Like, what is your? By spot, I'm talking, geographically. Like, where do you like to go? What's your spot that you like to hang out in? Because everybody has one.
Sure.
And then also, what is your role within the? I'm going to constantly go back to this, but what's your role within the village?
Yeah, why are you here?
Yes. Why are you here? Because not everybody can be, I'm an assassin from Spain.
That's the other one.
Sent to kill the king.
Oh, that's the other one. Okay, so the mushroom people are fine. The centaurs are fine. Okay.
The assassins is where you draw the line.
The assassins. Okay, everyone cannot kill the king or the queen. Please, people, get over it.
I mean,
okay?
dude, if you're going to try to kill somebody, please make it interesting. Go after
make
the
them
Spaniard.
French.
Go after the Spaniard.
Kill the French.
Or the Spanish.
No one's going to care if you just off a whole bunch of French people. Sorry to all the French people. But
I did see a musketeer last year.
I did, and I was just like, "Oh, you are a brave person." How did you do that?
Well, and the beautiful thing is that...
Why would you do that?
Je parle un peu français. So I speak a little bit of French, and I thought this was amazing because that same guy, I told you about him, and you were like, "Yeah, I ran into that dude."
Yeah.
I was actually having a conversation with him in French, and it was kind of cool, man. I mean...
Yeah. As far as French people go, I'm sure he was fine.
Well, it's supposedly the language of love, so I was trying to show him some love before you English people chopped his head off.
Yes.
So,
he definitely would have been killed.
Yes. But why are you here? Why would a lone musketeer be walking around?
Because he forgot the other two. I don't know. But
It's actually 3. There's 4 of them, even though it's called the Three
I
Musketeers.
know, dude. The French are so confusing.
Well, you don't count. 0 is not a real number.
Right.
So D'Artagnan started off as 0,
I think he's
and then
still
later
0.
was inducted.
He was never my favorite.
Okay. No, Porthos was my favorite
Yes, of course.
because pirate.
Yeah. But
then-
no. I think it's important to know why did you come to the fair?
Yes.
You
well,
know,
not just the fair, but within the storyline of the fair.
Correct. Excuse me.
For those of you that are writing merchants, well, this is your hub of trade.
Yeah.
This is why you're here. My name is Phineas Flam,
Oh, that guy.
and I'm here to trade.
Yeah.
And that's beautiful.
Trade.
Or our artist friend.
Yes, Malapert.
Malapert, the artist. Malapert came to showcase his artwork and in hopes of gaining favor with the king and queen. Now,
Yes.
I'm kind of paraphrasing, and I'm just kind of going off of what my interpretation of the character is.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure I'm close.
I think you're close.
And then you have the denizens of the actual village: the rat catcher, the gardener, the tailor, the seamstress, the fishmonger, and all of the others that are just normal folk within a village.
He said they're normal.
Oh yeah, dude, they're not.
No,
They're really not.
there's no
as
one
as
normal.
cast members, they're not.
No.
As the players, they are not. They're wonderfully crazy and chaotic, and I love them all.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
But their characters that they play are the normal denizens of the village.
Yeah.
That's what makes the village come alive. As
They're the regular town folk.
right. As Duke. No. Lord. No. Oh man. Now I'm screwing it up.
Uh-oh.
It's Duke Winklewick.
Yes.
Yes.
Woo-hoo.
Oh, as I don't know why, but this goes back to what we were talking about, knowing what to say to people.
Yes.
Like how to call them, because oh my god,
That can get you killed.
that would get me an email that would be like, thanks for playing.
Yeah.
You've now been
You
promoted.
gave it a
to
good run, buddy.
customer.
Yeah. It was fantastic.
As his Grace would say, we make the village come alive.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that is, if you're a patron that wants to step into the role of being a patron, then help us make the village come alive. Become part of the story, but don't try to do what we do. You're obviously not going to walk in the parade with us, but come play with us.
Yeah.
I
encourage people, especially if you have fleshed out a character, and you want to be, a patron, where you're interacting with different characters. I thoroughly encourage people to do that, but you have to come correct.
Yes.
It's if you're doing the sup, bro, that it's not gonna work.
Is it time to eat already?
Yeah, I'm gonna be like,
That's been my response to the sup.
I'm sorry, I don't speak whatever language that is.
Well, actually, sup is an English word.
Yeah,
S-U-P.
of course.
But it means to eat.
But if you come up to me and you're like, "Oh, hello, my lord," "Oh, hello," this person is putting some effort in, and
Yes.
that's what we look at.
I've seen you even give credit to people that come up to you, sir.
Yes, I mean, I'll even take sir.
I mean, you're not a knight.
No.
We could do something about this.
I want to be a knight one time, but I don't want to put on all that armor. Actually, I do want to put on all that armor. I want to do it one time with the knights.
I think it would be amazing.
Yeah.
And in that instance, what your role would be to basically Lord Robert's getting ready to wage war somewhere.
Yeah. So like I said, I would, and I talked to Sir Brian last year about.
No, my screens are off.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah, I was like, I don't know what's going on.
I don't know.
I did talk to Sir Brian last year about that, and
Right.
it just the timing was never
Never
right.
Yeah,
so.
I know he. I was there. He was like, yeah, brother. Anytime you wanna don the armor, and I'm like, you're a brave man.
So there may be a day coming up this next season.
I still think, like I said, to me, it's your character reeks of Lord Adelmar from
Yes.
Knight's Tale, and I just
One of the inspirations,
the viciousness
for sure.
of battle,
Yeah.
and I think that being dressed in armor would kind of, I think the way that you go about that is that you come to His Majesty, and you're returning from the front.
Yes.
And Your Majesty, the Frenchman, blah 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 blah, whatever, and then here's your +1. I seen
Yes.
it. I seen it.
I'm sorry. But yeah, no, I would love to put the armor on, actually go to the knighting ceremony.
Yes.
To be knighted.
Oh God.
Oh yeah, it'd be
No,
fantastic.
that'd be horrible.
I mean, I don't know
There's
if I'll
no
be able
living with him after that.
No.
Because then for the rest of the time, I'd have to refer to him as Sir during our freaking podcast.
Absolutely.
Not happening.
Whatever.
Not happening. To that, I have to. The next thing that we talk about is the details and
Yes.
the motivation. The motivation for your character. That is that at the very bottom of that page that we were talking about the last episode, that encapsulate who your character is and everything. You have to remember your sentence.
Yeah.
You have to, because that sentence will drive you. I was actually having a discussion with this on a professional level with someone at my actual real life job.
Your big boy job.
My big boy job.
Okay.
To know what your sentence is, because even as normal human beings, we don't put a lot of thought into this.
No.
But we each have our own sentence.
Absolutely.
And this is going to sound goofy, but mine throughout the time that I was in the military was ready to serve.
Oh yeah.
And it kind of morphed a couple times where it was like telling the story one person at a time.
Mm-hmm.
But it's always been the underlying of ready to serve.
Absolutely.
So I was telling my friend, like, dude, you have to remember what your sentence is, because if you don't, you will lose track of who you are.
Mm-hmm.
This is even more important when you're talking about performing improv at a festival, because you could see somebody like our fast-talking charlatan, and you go, dude, I want to do that. I want to be that, but that's not your character.
Yeah.
So don't try to be his character. Remember your sentence.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, dude, that one guy. I am Iron Bear. Dude, that's the sentence.
Dude, that's one look at him and I went, well, yes you are.
And I was like, I had to fight myself, because for some stupid reason, like, the fight or flight kicked in, and I'm like, where's Keith? I need to hide Keith. No, I don't. I am Captain Yen Shang of the Woku. So it's kind of funny, because it's like, you got, I am Iron Bear. I am Captain Yen Shang. And it's like, whoa.
I'm like, wow, there's a size difference.
You guys are like, way, like, Rob, dude, you need to back down. This guy looks like he's going to eat you.
He probably could.
I'm faster than him. We're good.
I'm sure he had a good 200
Beyond
pounds
that,
on you.
more importantly, I'm faster than you.
Yeah, you better be. Because if Iron Bear got a hold of you, it was all over.
Nope, I just got to be faster than you. It's kind of like, running away from a zombie.
It's true.
Don't have to be quick. Just got to be smarter than the guy running behind you.
Yeah, very, very much so.
So remember your sentence. Remember how that fits in, and hopefully your sentence lines up with not just your backstory, because it has to, but the story of the festival.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's.
It should never be, I'm here to kill the king.
No, please.
Ever. Or queen.
Everyone, just get that out of your heads.
Yes. Don't. We're not here to kill anybody.
Yeah. No. Oh,
Organize the killing thereof. That's a whole different thing.
Yeah. Sure.
Because you could be, like, I don't know, a spy master. That'd be another one that I'd love to see.
A spy master would be good.
A spy master that is there to sow dissidents in the village. That would be really neat.
Right. Yeah. So. Yeah. But my character and the last episode during the hierarchy, I said I was saving it for this episode, which is why I said I put myself at the bottom of the nobility list.
Right.
Is because last season I was still fleshing out my character.
Right.
I didn't really know where I was going with him. And so when they were putting the list together of who's where and the hierarchy and all that, I said, dude, just put me at the bottom. Just put me in, because I don't.
The bottom of the nobility is what he's talking about.
Yeah,
guys.
the bottom of the nobility list. And so I had to take that year to really kind of go, okay, this is who this guy is. This is where, and so now after this year, so now this upcoming season,
right.
he's going to talk a little different. He's going to be dressed a little different. A lot different.
Yeah.
You know, there's going to be differences about him, which is going back to everything we said in this episode, is fleshing out more of the backstory. Who his friends are, who his enemies are, why is he at the fair, what is he doing, you know, and so it's a forward progression of this character.
One of these days we got to work on some bit where we start, like, you know, recruiting.
Oh, absolutely.
Recruiting pikemen.
Oh, yeah. I mean, why not? That's pretty much what my where he's from,
right.
is the warrior class of England. This is where, if you want to fight an army, you call me, and I bring my guys,
yes.
and this is where the armies come. Oh, dang, okay. But now I have to, because that's who he was, but that's not who he is going to be.
Right.
So this year is going to be a subtle, well, maybe a little more than subtle transformation into what he is. I'm looking at, like, another year down the road.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, all right, he's going to be a little different this year. Then next year, it's going to be a little bit different more, you know, till he fits into where, like we said, what is your place? What is your spot?
Right.
He's still trying to fit into his spot. He's not there yet.
He's trying to figure out where his spot is.
Exactly.
Yes. And that's a very, it's very important that you guys remember that you have to know the end then. Mm-hmm. This doesn't just translate for writing and drama. It also factors into businesses, because you can't expand without knowing what you're expanding into.
Exactly.
You know, it's or any military movement. You
Yep.
don't try to, unless you're Napoleon.
Poor guy. But he was French. So.
He got his own movie, so I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, he did.
All right, but you know, it's one of those things where you have to know what your motivations are, because that moves into that next thing that you were just talking about, the goals. Like, like what is it? And we're talking about, like you said that we're starting off, and he's the military arm, and he's from this warrior class of people in Umbracinia, and now he's going to change. Well, a lot of that change doesn't just happen.
No.
You know, as regular people, it happens because of strife. It happens because of I hate to say it this way, but trauma.
Yeah.
Things that change the way that we think, that cause a paradigm shift in our thought processes. As a character that you're writing, you should figure that, and you can't always plan this, but be open to the internal struggles that your character may run into. For example, Yen Shang does not see himself as a servant to anyone.
No.
But he accepts that the people, the local populace, would not accept him unless he was escorted by somebody of their own.
Correct.
So, begrudgingly, yeah, I'm keeping Lord Robert alive. Begrudgingly, because why do I need him? I don't think that I need him, but practically I need him.
Yeah.
You know, I can't just off him. That would be a really horrible storyline, because then what's the end then? And then I was marched off to the gallows. It's great.
I killed a member of nobility, now I'm dead.
And now the headsman's coming to see me.
Yes. So, yeah, no, absolutely. It makes, I mean, that is a natural progression
Yes.
of a character's storyline.
Yes.
You know, I know where my character is going to end up.
Right.
You know, I can look 2, 3, 4 years down
Right.
the road, and I can go, okay, this is the end result. But how does he get there?
Right.
You know,
Right. And
it's
what
like
are the possibilities of a shift happening to get to that goal?
sure,
You know, it's not a straight line.
no, absolutely not.
It's going to be, you're going to have roads, you know, branches in the road that take you the scenic route
Mm-hmm.
or whatnot. Who knows? Maybe Lord Robert ends up with a 10th wife. I don't know.
It could happen. Taking applications.
Don't.
You can send your application to
No,
renaissancerascals
no, no,
at
no.
gmail.com.
Oh my God. Great.
I'm just saying.
Now we're going to get all the dating sites. Thanks.
You know,
Yeah, well, whatever. I'll let you sift through it.
renaissancedating.com.
Ooh.
Ooh, there we go. Side hustle.
A festival-driven dating app.
I mean, there's a lot of single people that go.
I mean, Zuckerberg, if you're listening,
dude, I'm saying, come hit us up.
come hit us up. But remember, on November 26th at 12:05 p.m. In the year of 2023, we said it first.
It was our idea.
That's right. At least give us credit, dude.
Yeah, just give me credit.
A Bitcoin, just one,
Just one.
just one,
And some
each,
Scotch eggs.
Each,
of course.
Yes, it's like Scotch eggs, one each,
One each.
one case each.
You know, I mean, I can be greedy.
But you guys got to be open to changing the goal. I mean, don't change the character completely. Let that play out. This is the cool thing. This goes back to what I was told. You know, you got to play the character for 3 years so that you can run it down. Like, dude, I've written this character to the point where he can go in a ton of different ways. I mean, for God's sakes, this last year I was inducted to His Majesty's Royal Navy. I'm a privateer.
Right.
So now in order of things, I'm a merchant, a privateer, and a pirate.
I think it's important to say that this is for people who are all this stuff here is for people who are coming up with their own unique character.
Yes.
If you plan on playing a character that is historically factual,
Yes.
a lot of this isn't going to apply to you because,
Well-
I mean, it will to a certain extent because you can do research and go, okay, I'm going to start him here at this time in history, and then we're going to move him to a certain other point in
Right.
history, but all this
A
stuff
different
happens.
evolution. I mean,
yeah,
a classic example of that is Lord Surrey.
correct.
Lord Surrey in real life is a bastard.
Yes,
But our Lord Surrey,
we love him,
we love him. He's a great guy. And his wife is a very lovely lady.
which is, I think, really the reason why we like him so much.
What, his wife?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. If it wasn't for her, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have, I'm sorry, I have to go with what he says. Remember, I'm his plus one. I'm gonna start using that from now on, man. Oh, I didn't bow. Oh, he told me I didn't have to.
Yeah. I get blamed for a lot of things.
That's gonna happen even more now.
I'm sure.
I'm just a manservant. What do you want me to do?
but yeah, no, I think if you're doing a historical character, you want to keep that very historically accurate. You know, you don't want to go, oh, well, I'm whoever.
I'm the Marquis de Sade.
Yeah, you know, I mean, you said Lord Surrey, so we can go, okay, I'm Lord Surrey, but then you're out doing something completely different than what
Right.
he did. It's what?
You can change it, but you have to make sure that there is this is where you now become the writer.
Yeah,
You
want-
have to do the legwork for it.
Exactly. So yeah, you know, and that's what I said. Create a character.
Yes.
You know, give your own backstory. It's fantastic.
This is why when I made Yen Shang, I'm historically adjacent.
Mm-hmm.
Did Wang Ji have a nephew? Yes, he did. He had several.
Mm-hmm.
Was any of them named Yen Shang? Absolutely not, dude.
No.
But it gave me enough latitude that I can turn around and say, okay, here's the deal. This is who I am.
Correct.
And I think it makes it a little bit more fun when you can do that because now you are writing your own character.
Yeah.
And, you know, I would love to see, or trade notes with people that are, you know, the wandering samurai.
Yeah.
You know, I gave these guys, I don't know if you were around me when I did it, but there was a pack of like 4 guys dressed as samurai. They did wonderfully.
Yeah.
Their costumes were amazing. Their outfits were beautiful. They wore the armor. They had the katana worn the right way. They did it right. And I had walked up to him, and we were getting a bunch of people. I mean, apparently when you get a bunch of people that are dressed in the Eastern style, it's an oddity.
It's unique for sure.
It's so we
because you're out of place.
Right, and so we were getting a lot of people that were like, "Hey, can we take pictures?" And we were like, "Yeah, sure." And so, as I'm wont to do, I give a history lesson to the people that are dressed in costumes or in outfits that are similar to what Yen Sheng wears. Like, you do realize that because I am here, it is actually historically accurate that you are here.
Yeah.
And I always get the question, well, why is that? Why do I need you to justify or provide validity for me? Well, here's the deal, guys. The Woku, the pirate organization, you can look it up, is comprised of Chinese, Japanese, Korean, at some point Malaysians, and then Portuguese.
Right.
So by virtue of Yen Sheng and his ships, because he has 3 of them, being in Larkspurshire, well, they're automatically attached to the character. So
right.
It's beautiful.
Yep.
And it's hilarious to me because next year I want to have like 15 samurai walking with me. I think that'd be just a sight to behold.
Yeah, it'd be great.
It'd be hilarious.
It would be.
It would be hilarious to see me with a retinue of samurai trudging with Lord Robert.
Yes.
Because if it's just me at the head of this column, it's bad.
As long as they come correct.
Well, it would be bad.
You can't have half done.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying.
You know,
But
they have to have. I mean, they have to be correct.
Right. It's dude. I'm telling you, I invite all of you that dress in the Eastern style like I do. Please meet me on Pirates Weekend next year because we can have some fun.
Yeah.
We're gonna sell out a bunch of pirates.
Oh, of course. Why wouldn't we? They're pirates.
I do it anyway.
I know.
It's how I'm on the lands.
Yeah.
But I think, and I would have to have Lord Robert with me because, and this is the and then, because if it is a solitary, I'm at the head of the column and I'm by myself. What does that give you vibes of? We're an invading force.
Yes.
While funny, I like my head where it's at, sir.
Yeah.
So I would have to have Lord Robert because then it is Lord Robert is showing off his new army. Mm-hmm. And don't tell me that wouldn't be fun, guys.
Look what I found.
Right? Like, Your Majesty, I am borrowing Lord Yen Sheng's crew.
Yeah, we're just going for a walk.
We're going for a walk across the water.
Yes, just a little stroll around the village.
You remember that village that you told me to secure in France?
Yes.
I'm happy to report that I did it. And
done.
Look, these are the people that helped.
Yes. But yeah, no, to touch on something you said, it's like Lord Robert is a made-up character from a made-up place.
Yes.
So there is a leeway there to what I can kind of do with the character. What I don't have leeway with is the rules of the time.
That is correct.
So I can't be some mythical person. I can't basically do what I want to do.
Right.
I can to a certain point, but there still are rules that I have to follow
if you're wanting to fit into the story.
The story.
Yes.
So it's yes, I made up this character, I made up this place, but I still have to dress appropriately. I have to walk and talk appropriately.
Right.
I have to act accordingly to what my station is. So it's not like, I can. In Umbracinia, we don't bow to anyone, so I'm not. That doesn't work, as you found out. So so there are rules that you have to follow. Yeah, of course they do.
People get mad, and I'm not saying like, and really what it was from my perspective of it.
Right. I understand where you were coming from.
It was logical.
Of course it was.
It was not within the storyline of what was going on at Larkspurshire.
No, but we are going to do a whole show about respect, deference, bowing.
Yes.
because it does get confusing. Who am I supposed to bow to?
And I make it even more confusing.
Yes, you do.
Because
You
we
are
do things differently in the East than they do in the West.
Right.
You know, one of the things, and I'm pretty sure you guys saw this before. There's moments where someone on the Royal Pavilion is seated, and there's somebody on the ground groveling. In the West, this is considered poor taste.
Yes.
In the East, that's where your face belongs when you're talking to royalty.
Right.
You don't make eye contact. You don't look the emperor directly in the eye. Matter of fact, you don't speak to him. You are speaking to his advisor. Because, you know, depending on which way you go, either Chinese or Japanese, your ears are not meant to hear the voice of the emperor.
Right.
So it's kind of funny. But, you know, you bring up a good thing about the timelines. And you remember at the very beginning of the year I was telling you about, like, we ran into those people that were playing woads.
Oh, yeah.
And I told you they were amazing. Why don't we have any of those on cast? Well, that's why.
Yes.
Because they're like
not correct.
300 years past.
Yes.
So, can you be a dissident tribe? Sure. But it's kind of like, now you're the pygmy people that live on the island outside of India, or where's that at? You know the island I'm talking about, that they chuck spears at helicopters and everything.
Oh, yeah, I've heard it. Yeah. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, now you're those people, and you have zero reason to interact. There is no end then, folks.
Yes, no, that's it.
Remember, when you're building your characters, the end then is just as important as your identity.
Look to the future. Where I mean, it doesn't, your goals, your experiences, everything can change, which is absolutely fine. You don't have to stay that same character.
No.
Don't fear change.
No, absolutely embrace it. Embrace it, as we say in the military. Embrace the suck. Dude.
Embrace the suck. But yeah, so you're not stuck in one thing.
No.
You know, you can always tweak this here, tweak that there.
The
but
identity
don't create
of the
a character
stays.
that is a dead end.
Yes.
You know.
The identity of the character stays.
Absolutely.
But the end goal shifts.
Yes.
You know, and you have to be willing to have that shift happen in front of you. I think you were talking about it before we even turned the mics on. You know, we started off our marrying of Lucinda, and it was supposed to be Lucinda being married to
me,
Lord Robert.
Yeah.
But then it shifted because the patron that was there decided to lean into it.
Yeah.
And I mean, guys, he took his wedding ring off.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
If you're watching this and you're that monk,
dude, that was fantastic.
My hat off to you, and more so, great appreciation to your lovely wife, because she played along with it as well.
But the reason we found the monk is he was the one supposed to be marrying me and Lucinda, but then somehow he got into his head that he was the one that we thought were going.
I think the wife was the one that skewed that.
Well, I think Lucinda had a lot to do with it too.
Well, you know, it's the smolder.
Yeah, it's smolder.
Yes.
Smolder.
But there we had an intention for the bit.
Yeah.
But it shifted.
Oh, it took a left turn. Sharp left turn.
It took a very, very hard left turn, and it ended up being funny. We did not intend it to be that funny.
No, but it was great.
But it
was
played
great.
Beautifully. So lean into it, guys. Let it happen. Let the magic of the story influence your character, and embrace the end then. Because that is going to make your character far more enjoyable to play.
Logical progressions. You know, I think is really what we're striving for.
Yes.
I know I am. You know, like I said, I can see where
I'm just a +1.
Lord Robert's end is, you know, years down the road. But I'm looking so forward to the journey of changing and shaping and tweaking and doing little things with his character,
which is really,
over the next few years.
Which is really funny, because how he shifts, so too does Yen Shang.
Exactly.
Because we make light of it, as I am Lord Robert's +1.
He is my +1.
To be honest, we have a reason for the characters to travel together.
Yes.
More so, not just because I'm doing something, you know, I'm keeping him alive so that he allows me to continue doing trade, but there's more in there, because as the seasons will come and go, the friendship will become more and more palatable for an audience member or a patron, if you will, to see how that is unfolding.
Yes.
And it's going to get even funnier.
Oh, yes.
In this next year to come.
I mean, there is definitely going to be tomfoolery and shenanigans.
Well, eloquent stupidity is what I like to call it.
So there's going to be plenty of that.
Eloquent stupidity. And speaking of being eloquently stupid, my name is Rob.
I'm Keith.
And we are the Renaissance Rascals. It was wonderful having you along with us, old friends.
Of course.
We will see you on the next episode. And I think the next episode we are talking about Scotch eggs.
Well, I believe every episode is a Scotch egg episode.
But I want an episode just about the Scotch eggs.
I do too.
But we need samples.
We do need samples
and
from the Queen's Pantry.
Yes, we need samples and sponsors. And speaking of sponsors, today's episode is brought to you by two wonderful meaderies. One in Colorado Springs, which is Drakkar Meadery.
And the other meadery in Castle Rock, Honeybrook Meadery.
Honeybrook Meadery and Drakkar Meadery. Makers of fine beverages. This is water.
Now. It is water.
For now. Cheers, friends. We'll see you on the next time.
Sláinte.